Oh my god, I'm literally sweating so much. Hi guys, I'm back with another video on how to contour, but not just any old contouring video. This is how to make it look natural. I think everyone thinks that contouring is something that you wear for a night out, and most of the time it is, but there's nothing wrong with toning it down. The whole purpose of contouring is to make it look like it's your natural face, that you haven't actually done it. That this is, you know, these cheekbones are mine. So yeah, keep watching if you want to get this look, and I hope you guys enjoy. So I've just done my foundation and I've powdered my face. I'm taking the darkest colour in my palette and I'm just swiping that down the edge of my cheekbones. The easiest way to do this is just sucking them in, and that will give you a really nice guide. I'd say draw this line about 3/4 of the way down your face, nowhere near your mouth, or else that can look really, really strange. Next I'm going to contour my jawline. I'm keeping this line quite thin so it can look as natural as it can. I'm not forgetting to take it up towards my ear, and I'm doing the same on the other side. Next, I'm going to contour my forehead. I'm keeping this contour very small because my forehead is quite small, so if you have a big forehead, then make these patches a lot larger. Next is the bit I find the hardest, and that's contouring my nose. So I'm using a really small brush for this because my nose is quite small. I'm keeping that line as thin as I can, and I'm just drawing it down the side of my nose. The most important part is doing this U shape at the bottom of your nose. If you don't do this, your contour is going to make your nose look so long and it's going to look ridiculous, so don't forget to do that part. I'm then drawing a line across the bridge of my nose. Next, I'm taking a bronze colour and I'm just dotting that because I want this to look really natural, and I'm pale anyway, so I don't want to use a lot of this colour. This is going to really help blend that dark line with the lighter colour that we're going to use on top. I'm just using this everywhere I've put the contour. Then I'm going to take the lightest colour in my palette and start to highlight under my eye. This part doesn't really involve you being too neat with it, as long as you keep that triangle shape going down the edge of your nose. Next, I'm just using a bit of that highlighter on my chin and then above my lips. Next, I'm going to be highlighting my forehead and making this area as large as I can without looking ridiculous, because I do have a small forehead. So if you do have a larger forehead, keep this highlight quite small, because you don't want to attract more light onto your forehead. And then again, highlighting under my eye on the other side of my face. Next, I'm going to highlight under the contour line, and I'm taking that as close to that dark line as I can. The step that's really going to give you those defined cheekbones that we also desperately want. And then I'm just doing the same on the other side. I'm just taking that highlight down the bridge of my nose, just in one small stroke, keeping this line really small. And I'm just doing kind of a full stop at the end. I'm then starting to blend out my whole face. I'm using this dabbing motion because I'm being careful not to move the contour from its places, otherwise it can just look awful. Moving on to my jawline, I'm then pushing this contour down, so this is going to blend nicely in with my neck. As you can see, I'm really trying hard to blend that harsh contour line so it's not as poignant. I'm blending out that highlight underneath my eye, and I'm really taking it as close to my eyes as I can. I'm then blending out my jawline on the other side. Make sure you look up when doing this, just so you can see if it's fully blended or not. As you can see, I'm using the pointed end of my beauty blender, just because this keeps that line really precise and really neat, and it doesn't sway too far from the places it should be. I'm using the larger surface area of the blender and just dabbing at my forehead. When blending out that contour, I really take it into my hairline so it looks as natural as possible. I'm doing the most difficult part for me, and I'm going to start to blend out my nose contour. I'm taking this as far as I can up into my eyebrow, so it looks as natural as possible. I'm really slowly beginning to blend out that contour at the end of my nose. As you can see, I'm blending that contour line right into the tops of my eyebrows. I'm flicking that contour line down the side of my nose. I'm then really gently blending out that line I've drawn across the bridge of my nose. And as you can see, this part really does require the most blending and patience. I'm then taking that really dark contour colour right under my lips, just to make my lips look a bit fuller. And with a plain blending brush, I go back in and blend out that contour as much as I can. I'm then going in with a really dark powder, then to just go over that same exact contour line, just to set it and make it really last long. I'm blending that out, just changing the angle of the brush, and that gives a really soft line. As you can see, the colour that I'm contouring with is quite a cool colour. Please avoid any orangey colours to contour with, that just does not look good. I'm basically now just going over all the places that I've contoured with that really dark powder. Using this technique of both powder and cream is really going to give you that intense and defined face. And I'm going to blend out that dark powder with just a plain brush. I'm then taking my powder bronzer and just going above the contour line, and that's going to really help blend the lighter with the darker powder. And I'm just blending that in a C shape around the edges of my eye, just to make this look more natural. I'm just putting a tiny bit of bronzer on my jawline. And I'm just putting a tiny bit of that bronzer on the edges of my forehead. And yet again, blending out my face. I'm then taking my translucent powder and I'm just going over that highlighter under my eye. I'm just placing a bit of highlighter on my chin, above my lips, and on my forehead. And again, I'm just taking that powder as close to the contour line as possible. I'm then taking that powder down the bridge of my nose. And just quickly blending out that contour underneath my lips. Next, I'm doing my blusher, and I'm taking a really small brush for this because I like it to be in a concentrated area. And this is going to go directly on top of your bronzer. Putting my blusher on top of my bronzer gives my blusher a really nice luminous look. And when I've done my blusher on both sides of my face, I'm just blending that out. For the last step, I'm going to take my fan brush and further highlight on top of that blush, just on the very top of it, and on a bit of my nose, and above my lips. The best way of doing this is with a really light hand and not using too much product. I've then suddenly got on red lipstick, just on my lips, and now to finish off I'm using Smashbox finishing spray. So yeah, this is the finished product. Thank you so much for watching. Any requests or any comments I will take on board and read. So let me know. Thank you so much for watching.